What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the NPU Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Nanfito, CEO and owner of Nanfito Productions, LLC, and NPU University. I'm super excited to be launching my podcast, NPU Podcast. This podcast has been a dream of mine for quite some time now, and I'm excited to finally kick off the first episode with you guys. Our guests today are two Central Connecticut State University football alumni who are both well into their journey of professional sports. We have a former all-time leading receiver for Central Connecticut and current CFL wide receiver, Tyshaun James from Middletown, Connecticut. And we also have former All-American running back for the Blue Devils, Nas Smith, who's from Auburn, New York. Shout out to Terrell and Devontae of Dilligence Training here in East Hartford, Connecticut for opening up their facility to us today. I appreciate you guys, giving us the time and allowing us to, have a platform and a space to record in. It's huge to have that. So I thank you guys for allowing us to be here. And so first episode of the NPU podcast. I'm super excited. Former high school teammate of mine, Tyshaun James, and his former teammate from college, Nas Smith. Two guys that are, well into their journey training here, actually, in Dilligence with Terrell and Devontae, and they're, well into their professional career. Tyshaun's heading off to Canada in a couple weeks, and, he's going to be starting his professional career. So super excited, former teammate of mine, and super excited to see you kind of, kick off your career, man. It's been a journey, obviously co-captains in high school, and that was cool, and, seeing you progress, it's been awesome. So, without further ado, I'm going to let them take it away and just introduce yourself.
I'm Nas Smith. Played my last season here at Central Connecticut. I'm a free agent right now from Auburn, New York, Big 315. And yeah.
Big Ty, man, a.k.a. Jay James.
Terrell Huff, co-founder of Dilligence Training.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited to get these guys here. The goal is obviously just to highlight, their story, what they came up, how they came up, and where they're from, and get a little background of just their play. Being able to give a perspective from a professional athlete, also from a perspective from a college athlete who's looking to go pro. Just giving those different aspects and how they train, what Terrell's got them doing here, and how they market themselves ultimately to, get to the next level and be, that next level guy. I'm super excited to be kind of kicking off this podcast here. Talk a little bit about Tyshaun, man. You're heading off to Montreal in a couple of weeks, right? If you want to just tell a little bit about your journey, how you got there, progression-wise from going from Central and, how you were able to maneuver, finding an agent. I know it's something that Nas is doing right now, so it's, in that process and just going through that. So, yeah, take it away, man.
Yeah, so getting to Central is like out of Middletown. It was kind of like hard because Connecticut football is not at like the top of everybody's board and stuff like that. But I ended up getting, I think I got my first scholarship my junior year from Fordham University, but it was like to play like safety. A lot of schools are offering me to play safety and stuff like that. And then Central ended up giving me a scholarship. I remember it was a summer day before a workout for football, and they were like, Coach Ross called me, and we were talking. He's like, we're going to offer you a scholarship. I'm like, what? For real? I was like, full scholarship? He said, let me call you back, finalize everything, make sure this and that. So he called me back. He said, full scholarship. Man, I was running around that crib all day. I was, happy. Coming to workouts, happy as I don't know what, bro. Just I got a full scholarship, and I told my parents and stuff like that. So originally I went there as a QB, and then I remember, like, guys were going down during camp and stuff like that because, like, that just happens. Dudes get injured. So they were like, do you want to play wide receiver? I said, shoot, whatever gets me in the field fast enough. So I started, like, just working my way into wide receiver my freshman year. And I didn't really, like, start, like, playing wide receiver until my sophomore year. And even then, like, I only had, like, 20 catches. So I was really just out there, like, blocking and stuff. And then my last game, that's when it just, like, took off for me. And things just started going up from there and stuff
man,
like that.
I feel like that's, like, a unique journey, man. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that make that transition from quarterback going to wide receiver, and I felt like that worked out for you, man. Like I just seeing what you were able to do, in such a short time too. Like, how's that process for you? Just like trying to like, I don't know, learn a different aspect of the game, a different position that you never played before, and kind of starting that in college.
Shoot, it was hard at first. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to my boy Tajik Bagley. We used to go at it. He used to get the best of me when I first started, because it was just like playing receiver and quarterback is like, it's way different. Receiver, you're doing a lot of running. Like Nas will tell you, Huff played. Quarterback, you don't do running like that. It's more of a mental thing at quarterback than anything. Receiver and DB, running back, it's a lot of physical, especially with the running we was doing. So I had to get in shape, and then I couldn't judge a ball. Like, I could catch a little bit, but they would throw me a deep ball, and I'll jump. That jump will still be going over my head. I'll be looking, I'll be like, damn, that ball's still going. I'm jumping. The ball go past my head. And it was just stuff like that. So I'm still learning to this day. Like, I've been playing receiver for like probably like 4 years at most. So I'm still learning each and every day, just trying to get better.
Yeah, man, that's a crazy story. Like, just like the progression of that, going through college and like having to like switch the script. Like, you know, you kind of thought quarterback was for you, and then, you know, it's crazy transition. And, you know, Nas over here, he killed it in college, man. He was, you know, I got the accolades. We kind of go over here. You know, Tyshaun was all-time leading receiver at Central. Broke the touchdown record too, right? Was it you were up there for touchdowns, and you were all NEC, right? Yeah. All NEC wide receiver, and same thing for Nas, man. That was pretty cool to kind of see. I've been tracking both of their stories, obviously, for a while. You know, first team all conference for Nas at, you know, CCSU, All-American running back. First team all region at Alfred University. First team all NEC, top 10 FCS rushing yards for Nas. Maybe talk a little bit about that. What was that season like, man? Like, just like the training. Like, talk a little bit to, you know, what you went through during that season. I mean, all those accolades is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, so going into this past season, you know, during the summertime, I knew like what I wanted to do, what I was capable to do, and I didn't reach that potential the past season before. So I knew coming in this season I had to, you know, it's my last season, so I had to do everything to put me in the best position to reach all the accolades and help the team out to win games. Although we didn't, you know, have a good season this past year. For real. Yeah, we didn't have a good season this past year, but, you know, for me personally, I had a pretty good year. Like you said, those accolades. But big shout out to obviously to my team, the offensive line and them and all them guys, because I couldn't do it without them. I tell everybody that. But like I said, I just put in the work to be able to be in that position to have all these accolades, and, you know, I wanted to get to the next level, and without, you know, putting in the work, there's no getting to this next level where I'm at in my career. So yeah, it was just, you know, it was a lot of ups and downs. You know, I have high expectations for myself, so even though I had a good year, I feel like I could have did better. Like there's a lot of areas I could work on and stuff like that. So yeah.
That process when you were in New York, like getting recruited to Alfred, like how that little transition that you did in college, like how did that go for you? Like what was the, you know, obviously I played D3 ball, so, you know, I know from a first-hand perspective, just D3 in general, just good football, like really good football. And you were playing teams that we would play at Western New England in the playoffs and stuff like that. So, you know, I think you guys played. Did you play Salisbury down there?
We played them in the bowl game.
Down there in bowl game, yeah. So we played them in our regular season the last 2 years I was there. And yeah, man, so what was that transition like? Like going from D3 to D1, you know, maybe talk a little bit about like the portal. Like there's so many people I feel like that are trying to switch the portal's crazy. I mean, I think we can thank Deion Sanders for that one a little bit, but you know, the portal's been absolutely insane lately. So what was that experience like for you?
So really coming out of high school, you know, I didn't have any offers, you know. So, like, going D3 was my only route, really, or JUCO. But, you know, I played D3 at Alfred, and I always knew I could play D1. So, you know, I had to put good film on tape, and I had to do what I was supposed to do. So my sophomore year of college at Alfred, I got All-American, you know. And then Coach Ambrose and Coach McCarthy, Coach McCarthy's not the head coach anymore, but he was last year. Coach Ambrose, I emailed them, I talked to them. And, you know, they was on board with me coming to Central and playing. I wasn't on scholarship first. I was a walk-on. So I had to work my way up. It's not easy. That transition is a different transition. Like you said, D3 is good ball, but D1 is D1. It's different type of athletes and stuff like that. So with me transitioning up, that means the work ethic and work level has to go up and all that stuff. So I just, I didn't want to come here and just to be here, just say I was D1. I wanted to play and make a name for myself. So that transition, it was definitely a hard transition because I had to sit out the first year. Had to sit out. Then COVID hit. We didn't play that year. So I'm out 2 years, and I didn't play. So it was like, it's a lot of mental and stuff like that. But like I say, you just got to stay ready. And then, so when I started playing here, the game was faster, something I wasn't used to at first. Like, it was faster pace and everything. So I just had to get, as this year went on, my junior year, everything started to slow down. And once stuff starts to slow down for you, it's just easy. Once you're not thinking so much, everything just comes and you can just play. So, yeah, it was a good transition. My story different. It's different from a lot of people, but I'm grateful for it because it made me who I am. So,
yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I think I see that from both of you guys, and even Terrell, his journey in fitness and journey in training and whatnot. These guys, obviously, they trained with you and whatnot. When they came on, what was your take as far as from an athletic standpoint? What did you work on with them once they started training with you?
Yeah, well, Tyshaun and Dex Lawson, those were my teammates in college. So with them coming on, it was more so just providing value, but more so the science behind it. I think a lot of times growing up, we were just training to get sore, training for that pain. But with me being in college, every time it was time for me to earn my spot, I would pull my hamstring. And it was due to me not knowing the science, and I was overusing my quads. So I really wanted to know why. I would go to the trainers. Nobody had an answer. I would go to the strength coaches. People just said I needed to work out harder. So I just took it upon myself to just control my own destiny and slow down and just do the research. From there, I really just focused on understanding that there's just 5 human movement patterns in the body. And instead of just always going for load and strength, just focusing on just applying it to the actual sport or functionality that you're going to use it in.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's something that I think that I noticed once I was in college, that our trainer, shout out to Jeff up in CPC up in Springfield, that was something that we really focused on, was the science behind everything. And I think Jeff did a great job up there at CPC, and shout out to him. He was a mentor to me throughout my college experience and playing ball. And it took me, though, I feel like, for once I started playing ball, to see it from that different light. And you train a lot more, I'd say, here, probably D1 caliber athletes and whatnot. But is there a different mentality that you see across the board, like someone who is more, D1 caliber or D3 caliber? What's the mentality like when it comes to just training and putting in the work for some of these athletes?
I don't really think it's a mentality. I think that the difference is with just diligence. When you walk through those doors, you in an interview, we have to see if not only if this is a fit for you, but if this is a fit for us.
Yeah.
So anybody who walks from that door, from the youth, general pop, all the way to our athletes, it's just a different mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's that community culture. So when they're in there working out, they could be also working out next to a police officer who's working out next to a senior citizen who's just focusing on that functionality and just those little nuances and that mindset. Everybody's in here just working, and it's just the culture.
I think that's one thing. Like, great culture builds great business, great mentality, great athletic play. Like, having a good culture really embodies, I think, your full potential. And I think that's something that I learned, obviously, going through my own process. But yeah, man, I've seen, obviously followed you guys on social media for a while and seen how you guys started and how you come up. Talk a little bit about that. Like, you guys started right in a garage type of setting, right? And now, I mean, if you can't really see it on camera, but you got a very nice facility here in East Hartford.
Thank you. Yeah. So again, I said the pandemic was different for everybody. For us, it really allowed us to slow down in such a fast-paced world. we were able to really just see what it is that we wanted. So we just took a chance upon ourselves instead of working for another corporation, so to speak. Create something ourselves, take a chance on ourselves. We had nothing to lose, essentially. We started off on the track with really just Devontae's family, some friends, and really was like a local workout that Captain Kearse, the best track coach in the state, started back when we were kids. And then from there, we kind of really took that philosophy and we went to a garage, which is down the street in East Hartford called Church Street. From there, we, again, were fortunate enough to outgrow that facility, but nobody would give us a chance to get a building. They said, we didn't have the credit, we didn't have this, but we just needed an opportunity. By the grace of God, again, we were on Church Street. This building right here was an abandoned church. And we were fortunate enough to get their approval for this. We moved forward. We didn't have an architecture. We didn't know what anything was. We just put TVs down. That's why the turf's a little off. We took our own footsteps with the measurements. All of this is literally out the mud. So we take pride in everything that we do. And again, we take pride in people like my brother Isaiah Huff. Shout out to him. He's leaving to the CFL next week. Tyshaun and Dex, because those were the first class of athletes to give us a chance. From there, we were able to provide, more value than what we take in compensation. And then that's what gave us the social credibility, so to speak, for people like Nas to come now, people like Chiz to come now. And that's something that I never want to take for granted and want to say, I appreciate you, Ty, as you left. You were never too high, you were never too low. And still, although I was your teammate, came back and respected the profession.
Yeah, I think that really speaks to it, in my own profession. Just, I started NPU University this past month. I've got 10 athletes I work with right now, and I feel that from a business perspective, being able to work with athletes and having them take that chance on you, having put them that, have them put that faith in you. It's definitely a lot. It's a lot of pressure and how you overcome that, man. It's like, I got kids across the spectrum right now that are all over the place. There's, a couple D1 athletes, D2, D3, JUCO, and it's all, my story and what I'm trying to build here is just building a story for the athletes that I work with, whether that be through the podcast with you guys, whether that be, through social media in some aspect for them, teaching them how to market themselves. So I can relate and respect that a lot. So, yeah. But yeah, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit too about, some of the social media aspect and just marketing yourself. Obviously you guys both went to Central. I think the marketing team does pretty good there, actually. Shout out to Alex DeStefano, camera guy there. He does good work for you guys and, good friend of mine. And you guys, I'd say, had, a good marketing plan and whatnot, but talk a little bit about, your process and working with your agent now to find marketing deals as you move into the profession. Obviously, there's things you can do, but how are you kind of maneuvering around that?
Shoot, my agent, so we have what is it? We have a marketing person now. Her name's Ashley. So she deals with getting us stuff. When I went to camp, when I was with the Falcons and had camp, I got a whole bunch of free stuff in a bag from all these companies to use for camp and stuff like that. So marketing is big, especially at once you get to the professional level, because you could make a couple grand a week just from putting yourself out there and stuff like that. So he's been trying to get all of me and the rest of the guys that he assigned to post more stuff, get more content, whether it's workout videos or just gear that you get. I got a couple free things from companies and I posted and tagged them in it. So marketing stuff is really, really big. But
as far as I'm coming from more of a perspective of, when you're training, when you're doing your thing, obviously the cameras aren't always watching, right?
Yeah.
But how important did you feel in your process, recruiting wise? Did it influence once you were putting out content, videos of you lifting? Did you see more coaches you feel start to reach out at that point? Back in the process when you're moving from high school to college and stuff like that. I think I have a pretty big audience that's going to be listening that obviously they're going through the process right now. They're going through those emails, the tweets, those long nights of messaging coaches. How did that influence, when you were trying to market yourself to get into college? Yeah,
Well, I say it's
100%.
now.
well,
Yeah.
it's
Go ahead.
well, I say yeah, it's definitely changed. Like I graduated 2017, so like I'm not like that old or that far away from high school, but pretty older now in a way. But for me, for colleges, I did all that stuff myself. Like no disrespect to like nobody, but I was up late night typing paragraphs, sending them to coaches, sending my huddle link. I was sending them to all different types of coaches. Like that was me myself. I really didn't have nobody to really help me get myself out there. Like my mom and dad, they helped me bring me to camps and stuff like that, but sometimes we couldn't go to like certain camps, but they did like a great job helping me get to a lot of camps to get in front of coaches. But that's the biggest thing. I think getting in front of coaches is really big. Like nowadays it's like 7-on-7 and dudes doing 7-on-7 with mics and all that stuff. Like, or somebody catch a pass to somebody, they tap somebody in the head. Like they wasn't doing that when we was playing.
So,
It's
a lot
changed.
of extra now.
Yeah, it's way different and extra now.
So,
like,
it's
but
crazy. It's crazy
I didn't
that we
do
see that, you know?
lifting videos or none of that until I got to college, where they would
They would take
record
it
it
for you.
and then they would post it of me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wasn't sending that like that to no coach.
Yeah.
And I would say from like the kids that we train, like marketing is everything. From youth all the way up to the NFL. As you guys just seen, Isaiah Winstead just posted his stats as far as his body measures, his 40, his shuttle, and the next day, or no, 3 days later, he went from saying, I need a chance, to the 49ers just signed him, all the way down to some of our brand ambassadors, Kiki Adams. He was a part of our first class of brand ambassadors with Dex and Tyshaun. And the biggest thing now is marketing. It's going to a rivals camp so you could get that invite from the combine to the actual camp so you could get ranking stars. It's going not just to 7-on-7s, but the actual 7-on-7 tournaments that are going to get you that recognition. It's that one play on Twitter, like you can go viral and have immediate contact with a coach, where before having contact with a coach, you were begging your high school coach to send your film. You could look up anybody now and call them yourself. You see every day on social media 6 FBS schools just visited a prep school, and that's where you have an argument now with prep school versus high school, which is a whole nother topic.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was even something back in the day, like, I would talk to Kingswood Oxford here in Connecticut a little bit back in when I was, sorting through my recruiting process, and they were, couple guys they had there, like, I think Kobe Kwanzaa went to Duke. There's a couple guys
Isaiah
Wright. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that went that prep school route, and the results, I'd say, you see it, as opposed to public school, stuff like that. But I think it's what you make of it, And I'm really trying to, as far as like my production company goes, like, I'm trying to provide media to athletes like myself once was. Like, I'm trying to provide that media source that's a little bit edgy, a little bit, not so traditional to that huddle film. It's more personal and authentic, and I'm trying to like provide that, you know what I mean? But also like through NP University, I've been able to offer that coaching that you were talking about. We didn't really have that person in our corner that was, helping with emails. Those are all stuff that I did on my own too, and I'm sure you did too, Nas. Like, and I think that there's a really big need for it. It's a hot market right now, and from what I'm seeing, so yeah, it's it's all about, I'd say, how you market yourself now.
Yeah.
But it like you said, no one's gonna be really caring what you're doing. It's what you're doing off camera, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you both can talk to that a little bit. Like, coming in at difference from D3 to D1. Like, how was your prep, Nas, different once you got to that D1 level? Was did you see yourself gaining weight, or did you see yourself cutting more? Like, how did that transition on your body go from a D3 to D1 perspective?
Yeah, so the weightlifting program is a lot different, you know what I mean? From D3 to D1, because it's more, they emphasize on it more, especially with Coach E. He emphasized on that stuff more, getting bigger. So my body definitely changed from, I got stronger and faster, and, which I had to, though, because like I said, it's just a different type of athletes at the D1 level, and people were bigger and stronger. So, my preparation, it was just like I said, I didn't want to leave. I didn't come to D1 just to say I was playing D1. I wanted to play and make a name for myself. So, like I said, with the higher level, it means more work. And like Ty said before, you know, we didn't. A lot of us, like, we just put in the work. It's not just putting on social media. Anytime I put it on social media, it would be for motivational purpose only. There's nothing wrong with putting you working out on social media. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have nothing against it. But, you know, a lot of times it's those days, like me and Ty always say, like, this is where the money is made. Like, when the camera's off, nobody's around, it's just you or maybe somebody else, and nobody know you're working out. But you know, as long as you know, then that's all that matters. But, yeah, it definitely, you know, the work, and back to, like, what you were talking about with the social media and brand and marketing, it's way different now because Twitter, like, we had Twitter, but it wasn't like how it is now. We wasn't going underneath like, we could post something at Central Connecticut and a kid would post underneath ours. Like, we just making a post. Yeah, like we just making a post like good luck to Central. And we tag our coach or something. They tag underneath they stats and all that stuff. So it's just different now. Like, you don't even have to email the coaches. All you gotta do is hit them up on Twitter. And the coaches is on Twitter because it's what it is.
I mean, that's what I'm teaching right now through NPU is just how to leverage Twitter and other social media accounts, because what I'm teaching right now is digital branding. And digital branding is your social media presence across all platforms. So, you know, I'm teaching, you know, the athletes that I work with right now just how to use Instagram, how to use even Facebook, like YouTube, all those things, TikTok. Like, it's so crazy where the industry is now, and it's clearly different than when we were in college and high school even, and like, you know, it's something that we gotta adapt to though. You know, as the industry goes, like, I feel like that's where my service, in a sense, is adapting to the industry. It's like, you know, I went through it. I was a D3 athlete, and, you know, I saw how they were marketing us and how, you know, D1 players were marketing themselves, D2, all that stuff. So it's been a journey so far, man. It's
shoot, that junk changed at Central.
Shout out to Allie.
Yeah, that marketing for Central has changed. When I was there, boy, they wasn't marketing. Damn, bro, we took pictures for our picture day. You had to walk up. It was like you take a license picture. I was wearing my chains. I was wearing my earrings. Oh, you got to take that off. I'm like, bro, what? You can't even wear that. Like, we don't have pictures. We didn't have pictures where, like, your helmet, gloves, like smoke. We didn't have none of that. Mind you, we was winning championships and all that. We didn't get that stuff. So it's like, I feel like from a recruiting standpoint, like, schools like Sacred Heart, you go to their school, you see their nice facilities, nice dorms, nice field, all that stuff. Like, at the end of the day, you play football, but you want to go somewhere that's gonna make you, like, feel better too. Like, I feel like Central and a lot of schools in Connecticut should have indoor facilities. It's not just for football. Soccer could use it, baseball. Yeah, bro, it's cold out here. I understand
straight up.
I understand mental toughness, but, like, we be practicing outside. It'd be like 18 degrees, pouring down rain. Yeah. Only so much you could do. You could try to throw the ball, but the ball waterlogged. The ball heavy, so you got to run the whole practice. So it's just like it's different.
There was days where we had shovels out on WNE football field, shoveling the snow off just for practice. It was crazy, like, just going through that, you know.
Yeah, big shout out to Alex D Photos too, because without him, I'm not gonna lie, the past year or the past 2 years, really the past year though, he was doing it for free, taking the pictures and stuff for free, just for his enjoyment of doing it. So it's just a big shout out to him, and some of the coaches, new coaches on the staff, they're emphasizing it now, because like Ty said, especially nowadays, like, kids, that's what it's about. To them, it's about taking the pictures. Oh, I went to Central, with all the gear on, the nice facilities. That's what kids want to see nowadays. Like, not everybody wants to just go to a school, and nobody's gonna want to just go to the school and not do that kind of stuff when they go on a visit. Yeah. They see everybody else doing it, so they're gonna want to do it. So 100%. It's definitely big in the recruitment aspect.
Yeah, no, I mean, from, like, player perspective, kid that I work with right now, Nicholas DeShong. Kid's 6'3", 315-pound lineman. Mm-hmm. Kid's a tank, and he was obviously he's a junior going through the progress right now and process right now, and he just visited Brown University and took some photos there, posted them out, and it's crazy to see how the engagement works with those bigger schools. Like, it's just straight up, like, that's what it is. Like, he went from, doing 1,000, 2,000 views on his post to 7, 8, 10,000 views within days. Like, we're not talking just like it was overnight. It was crazy. And the goal is, obviously as I develop that program, it's like, I want more of that. I want that engagement coming to my programs, and that's where the podcast now comes in play, and having like that an extra media source to bring other guys on other than the athletes that I work with in my network. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah. And I think it's just a good thing to have here in Connecticut, because I could speak to it. I know you're from New York, but I feel like Connecticut sports in general just undervalued, underappreciated a little bit. Just we don't get the media coverage here. I'd say that people get down in Florida, Texas, where they are playing all year long.
Yeah,
it's just different. It's a different level.
Well, it's big too.
I think if we want the same coverage, if we want the same energy, like, we got to be able to shift. It's like a lot of times, if you just look at Connecticut, if you look at Wethersfield, Windsor, whoever want to argue, say they was the first town in the state, it's a lot of people in management, people with authority who are outdated or not willing to change. Business, as you guys just said, from media coverage from when he was just there to now change. If you look at the fitness industry from when we were in college to now, we lift different. And that is what's wrong with Connecticut, is that people are in a position of power and they love what they do, but it's an old adage, and I'm not willing to shift because, quote unquote, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we do need to have a cultivating experience. We do need to meet the kids where they are and not say that the kids are the issue because of COVID. We need to understand that you could win one way, but next year you're going to have to win another way. And I believe that we are going to continue to keep this, Connecticut the way it is until we're willing to adapt.
Shoot, I was just saying to Nas today, because we went to we just came from the field. We went to Weaver and worked out. I was saying to Nas and Kyle, and I was saying I like how Hartford and Windsor and New Haven, all those places are, because they got open fields all the time. Even Meriden, open fields. Middletown, bro, you could barely find open field. Like, the high school field should always be open.
100%, I think.
And the gymnasium should be open. So how you expect kids to get better, or you want state championships and all this stuff, but they don't got access to none? Where they gonna go to a grass field with divots, sprain an ankle? Like, they gotta start opening up stuff so these kids could do something. Yeah. And it takes them out of doing something that they shouldn't be doing. If the field open, they could go do a lot more stuff.
100%. And that comes from, that was even like that when we were in high school. That just not the access. Like,
we had to crawl underneath that fence, crawl right that main fence. We would crawl the fence, hop the other fence. We used to get to work.
Yeah, we did get to work. We did. And even that, like, fields like Wesleyan and stuff like that, I get it's a university and stuff like that, but I feel like just like the access is being restricted. Like, I get universities and stuff like that, but like public fields, I feel like there should be access there, like, especially to the athletes that are training in your program. Hands down, that's it. And I think, I don't know, I feel like that as the industry grows, you're either gonna, like you said, adapt and actually make change happen, or you're gonna be a 6-4 program that's, it's you're just gonna be stuck there. And I think that's what happens in a lot of schools around the Northeast, is that they do get stuck in that sort of problem. So it's the same here as it is where I'm from too, but I think it's like Huff said, it's gonna be the same if people are just content with it. That's the thing. If you content with how it is and you don't want it, that's the difference between here and like down south, or like New York and down south, is they have way more exposure. And what Huff's doing right now in training, trying to get the kid, trying to get the kids start early and stuff. That's gonna help. That's gonna help, with Connecticut, his business and all that stuff is gonna help, because the earlier you start and the more exposure you have, the better. And that's like my little brothers, they live down south. It's just totally different, like a different vibe, a different, people wanting the kids to, grow up and do
be somebody and stuff like that. So, but if you content with how everything is, that's when things is going to stay the same, like you said. But you got to change with the industry.
I mean, I think that was one of my goals coming into the industry. Is just I wanted to be that disruptor to the media industry. I wanted to be that disruptor in the athletic industry where I offer that platform that isn't really offered as much. You know, like guys like Alex DD Photos, like kids just grinding, kids a college student, you know what I mean? Like working for free, you know, stuff like that. It's like, you know, that goes such a long way for what he's doing, and like that's underappreciated, you know, I feel just in the Northeast in general. But yeah, no, back to your point, I think adaptation to that mentality, that old school mentality of just being complacent, and if you want to get to the results like big towns do and down south, like there's got to be some sort of change for sure.
I think everything just in life just comes down to a culture. Like if you think about a school system, it's a business. If you think about a university, it's a business. If you think about a team, it's a business. There's always one person in charge. You got your chain of command, and then you got your soldiers. And it's just a lot of times we not making it an experience. When people walk through the door at Dilligence, Nas will tell you, Tyshaun will tell you, you get greeted with high energy. You grab an affirmation. You write what your gratitude is on the wall. You take off your shoes. Then there's so many different genres of music, so many different walks of life. But as Tyshaun stated, you'll go to a football program and you telling me to put my body on the line for you, but I can't express myself the way I want to. I'm going to a photo shoot to put your business brand out there, because we just got the NIL done. So I'm putting your business brand out there, but I can't express myself. I have to take out my earrings. I have to take out my chain. Why is it that we have to mediate our culture and form to something else when we can express ourselves and still be professional? And I think that it takes a change. It takes more people who look like us, who come like us, to be out on that platform and show people there's no difference. And that's something that I strive for in this business, is just to show people there's no reason you can't do whatever you want to do, still being you. Like, you can make it, but at what cost? And that's something that I hope people walk away with that.
I totally agree. I thought that was very unique, of the affirmation aspect. When you first walk in, that's the first thing you grab. I mean, first day I met Terrell, he literally just was like, grab an affirmation, first thing. Didn't even say, we said hi, and then it was grab an affirmation. And you know what, that opened
grab it right now. I ain't playing with you.
That opened my eyes, though, to the program that he has here and what you're building. Like, it literally speaks for itself, you know, and, you know, you guys were cleaning the place as soon as I got here, like, place is spotless, you know, and I think that's a good, you know, like you said, you're building that culture around your program, right? Like, building that good company culture, building the good habits, like, that's all stuff I learned, obviously, you know, pursuing further education, and just culture is really what drives good business, what drives, you know, performance on the field, all that stuff. I agree with that.
I think it really just goes hand in hand, though, because, like, when you meet someone halfway, when you make people feel like you're working with them and they're not working for you, it's a whole different atmosphere. It's Nas finishing a workout, and I'm not cleaning the weights myself. He's cleaning it with me, but he doesn't feel obligated to. He's doing that because he feels the value that he gets provided here, so he's returning it. Yeah. And like that goes to the culture. What we're saying with these programs, with these universities, is that Connecticut just has to be able to provide that experience to the kids and make these kids feel valued, instead of it just being such a army, so to speak. So like, let these kids express themselves. Like, win a championship in 2023, but understand in 2024 you're going to have to switch and find the culture and the identity and the environment for a whole nother team. It can't just stay the same. Like, we got to constantly be willing to adapt and meet one another where we are.
100%. I agree with that. Full-handed. Like, that's a lot of my core values is being able to express that just difference in culture, difference, and that's like what I'm trying to highlight with a lot of my programs in general right now. And like I said, company culture was the foundation. Having a good culture was the foundation of my business. And my mission statement's pretty simple. It's to help people. That's it, to help people. And ultimately, whether that's through my media, through a podcast, through whatever that source may be, just help people achieve their best performance, best results, whatever they're looking to do. So yeah, and you know, like I said, went to grad school, got my MBA, and I know right now, Nas, you're in grad school as well. You know, what's that process like for you, and how was it during your grad year? You know, for playing wise, you know, just a little background, like, you know, I did grad school as well, WNE. You know, 2 days before my training camp, tore my pec, and that was quits to my career. You know, and I was going in that year like really excited, ready to go, coming off that COVID season, like, and I didn't get it. You know, so what's it been like for you going through grad school? You know, obviously, and still playing.
It definitely was difficult. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I wanted this year to be a breakout year for me, so I'm trying to focus on that. But also, like, again, my MBA is something I told my mom I want to do and I would do. So like balancing both of those out, it was difficult. But if you, like I said, I want to do it, so it's something I'm gonna, you know, put my all into. But it's worth it. Yeah, it's definitely worth it doing that, both at the same time. Because at the end of the day, they both can end up my career. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You know, Tyshaun, you graduated from Central, and was it 2021 or 2022?
2021.
2021. Yes.
It's like that old. Look, them boys said, they say, yo, Tyshaun, you wanna? Because I ended up, because of COVID, so I was supposed to be done that year. So I ended up taking like 3 classes or something. So I took like some art class, stuff like that. But the coach was like, you want to do your master's? You want to go get your master's? I said, I don't play golf. I said, nah, look, yo, school ain't for everybody, yo. It is what it is, bro. I was done with school, bro. Like, I got my degree in economics. I made that far. I know my parents want me to go to college, but it's not for everybody. I just wanted to play football. And even like with like professional football and NFL, like I was telling Nas, we at the field earlier, I was like, even when I was like a freshman in college, I was never like, oh, I want to go to the NFL or I want to play professional football. Like, I was realistic with myself. I was like, I just want to go to college, play football, don't have to pay for college, so my parents don't have to worry about that. And what happens, and I didn't realize till like my junior year, once like coaches was coming to practice, not coach, scouts was coming to practice, just sitting at my drill, watching me work. I'm like, damn, this is possible for me to go to the NFL and stuff. So just seeing that, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, it's time to get there. It's time to play pro ball.
Yeah, so I know you went down to, where'd you go train? It was
I went to XPE in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that, man. Like, what was the process like going down there? You know, they had you up in like a hotel type thing, or a condo sort of. And
I was in a not like a suite, like an apartment style hotel. But yeah.
And you were down there for what, 2 months, 3 months?
Like 4 months, almost 4 months. Yeah. So I was down training XP. It was good. Like, honestly, like I was telling Huff, like, cause Huff always be willing to learn. I feel like that's a good thing. That's the way I am too. Cause like, if you're not willing to learn, you're just gonna stay in the same spot. We don't know everything as humans. Ain't nobody perfect. So when I was down there, it was just a lot of like facilities like this. It's just open. It was like they had a massage spot, so massages, chiropractors. They had like everything in the facility, cold tubs. And it was just good because a lot of guys that I trained with, a lot of them got drafted and they like successful in the NFL right now. So just being around the atmosphere around the guys like that, like I'd never been in a situation like that where you compete every day, not with just yourself, but with guys like that too. So it was really good. I got to learn from those guys. We had Pierre Garçon. He was out there doing like the wide receiver stuff. And I'd never been like, I went to college in Connecticut, so I'd never been like away from home.
Right. Yeah.
So I was just away from hhome. Then I met my girlfriend down there, and then we were chilling for those 4 months. And now I got my daughter and stuff. So
congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
It's a step into fatherhood, and I think that's I think you're a great role model for those kids that have a kid young, and you're still on a good track.
I ain't that young, yo. I was out of college, yo. I had 23. She was born November 20th.
In a sense, though, still pursuing that career too, and still being able to balance all those things. That's super impressive, man. And like, coming from you, I'm proud of you for everything that you've accomplished.
That made me tear up, man. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Like, now, talk a little bit about like you did go to the Falcons for a little bit. You were undrafted free agent there, and then signed with them to be on their talk about that process, man. Like, what was that like for you going down to Atlanta, and what was that process like for you?
It was good. Like, the whole drafting, I knew, like, if I was going to get drafted, it was going to be late. So my agent, there's a couple teams that said that they have a draftable grade on me to get drafted. So in the middle of the draft, we was getting calls and stuff. So I ended up signing with the Falcons. Ended up going down there, doing mini camp, doing OTAs and stuff like that. And it was good. Like, I feel like I learned a lot just from, like, the coaches, some of the guys there, and just how to be a pro. Like, once I left from down there, I just started taking care of my body in, like, different ways. I meal prep now. I stretch way more and just stuff like that. But the biggest thing out there is, like, I feel I was doing the best I could. And I know, like, I could play at that level. I talk to my coaches and stuff like that. But I feel like the plays that I usually make, like, I'm the type of guy, you throw it up, there's two guys there, I'm coming down with that ball. Yeah. And that's what I got to make. So I feel like I wasn't making as many of those as I could have. And I feel like the biggest thing is when you, like, at a moment of, like, failure, the first thing you be like, oh, you start blaming other people. And that's how I was. It wasn't like that for me. I was like, I got to do better. What can I do better in a situation like that? Like, yeah, it's a business. There's numbers and stuff that go into it, but what can I do better so the next time I'm in that situation, I don't end up released or whatever. I never been cut, released for no team. So at first, I was like, damn. And I had a workout with the coach. It went all right. It didn't go as good as I wanted. And then after that, I was like, yo, I gotta toughen up. Like, this is what I want to do. I got to release. So what? I got to become a better player. Ain't nobody's fault but my fault. I'm the one that go to workouts every day. I'm the one that goes to practice. Yeah. So talking to the coaches stuff, they never said, like, I was never lazy or that. I always worked hard. Yeah. So then I had other workouts, and I ended up killing those workouts for those teams and stuff. So then now I got my opportunity to play in the CFL. So This is my second chance. A lot of people don't get a second chance, so I'm going to take it and run with it, honestly.
Yeah, you should, man. That's, and back to, like, the whole media aspect of it, too. You hit me up, and you're like, hey, we were obviously doing some media in the past, and you're like, yo, can I get some footage? And, like, got you that footage, and then, like, within a week you were working out for other teams and stuff. So, like, seeing how quick that process went, like, kind of just speaks to how, like, the industry has changed. You know what I mean? It's just like you said, adapt to it and like find ways to just progress. So yeah, man, I'm super excited for you to get started in Montreal, man. That's gonna be so sick to see you kind of just doing your thing over there, and still taking every advantage of every opportunity you get, right? Like, that's the whole goal, and you're gonna do good things, man. I know you're gonna. So, and I want to talk to a little bit about Nas, like, coming now, you're undrafted free agent. Like, what's the process been like for you? Like, you're at a point where Tyshaun obviously once was. Like, being an undrafted free agent now, what are you doing? Are you working with an agent? Are you looking for an agent? Like, how's that process been?
Yeah, so I got an agent right now, born ready. Right now it's just, reaching out to team, trying to get invites to camps and, with the NFL and CFL. So right now it's just a waiting game. But like what I'm doing my part, staying ready, working out, because you got to. And although this process it's overwhelming and it's a hard process to, if your mental's not good, you ain't gonna be built for it. So, but like I said, I'm ready for this, and whatever comes, it's all God's plans. I just got to do my part and stay ready. It's a blessing regardless. To be in this position is a blessing. Not a lot of people where I'm from, if any, have been in this position. So, like, they see a lot of kids and stuff. They look up to me. That's all I want to do is just, give the kids hope, help the kids out in my city, even adults in my city, motivation, and just be a motivator and inspire people. So, like, even though I didn't get drafted, even though I didn't get invites right now, I'm not going to give up, because this is what I want to do. And yeah.
I got a running back that I worked with in college who similar process. Kid was a beast. His name's Jameer. He was literally one of the best running backs I ever played with, and he similar process, was undrafted free agent. He's still still working out, still in tip top shape, and still trying to get that opportunity. And I think as long as you're putting in the effort too, that's gonna come, man. Like, no matter what, there's so many opportunities now. Like, like XFL, even CFL. Like, there's so many other things that you can get there.
Right.
It's doable. So.
Right. And like I believe in myself. I believe I can play at the level I believe. Yeah. So, like, even though the belief hasn't gone away, it's just the timing. When the time's right, it will happen. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's all about timing. So when it happens, and when it does, I'm just going to take full advantage of it and just, be blessed and grateful for the opportunity.
100%, man, 100%. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Like, obviously, like, I'm in a position now where it's like I'm starting my company, working in corporate, like doing a bunch of different things post-grad life. So I'm seeing a professional life from a different viewpoint, you know what I mean? But it's still the same principles that I build my company on a daily, that it's, same company, same principles that I feel you're building your business on, and that's just grinding every day, waking up and like choosing to be in that life, in that circumstance that you're in. Like nothing's going to be handed to you, and that's something that, I started this business, back in actually December 2021 with Tyshaun, and that was the first time that we were on the field, and I was like, man, like I can do this like full time, you know what I mean? Like I know I can make a business out of this, and from there I just started scaling it every day. Was working on a website, going to corporate, coming home 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock, still doing that right now, like making this work, because no one's gonna hand it to you, and I see that process. It's similar to being in football and stuff like that too.
No, you definitely won it, because we was outside. It was cold. You was out there, no gloves, bare hands, with that wind cutting. I said, oh yeah, that boy tripping. I was bundled up with the gloves on, still running though. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, this has been pretty good conversation, guys. Like something that I want to start doing on every single podcast is always asking my guests what their 5-year goal, where they see themselves, where they want to be, and then their 10-year goal, where you would like to be past professional sports, past whatever sport you're in. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean, just start with you, Terrell. Like, what's your 5-year goal, 10-year goal?
5 years from now, I think it's kind of what we really just want to really push on to these athletes is just leverage. So it's like, I think a lot of times growing up, in an underfunded household, a lot of times look at you as just an athlete or a football player, and I never wanted that adage. I just leveraged football to, get me on planes to go to different states, to get me to universities, to allow me to receive my MBA, something I wouldn't have been able to afford. And then now in my next chapter of life, I got another title where they call me a trainer. Like, I'm not a trainer, I'm an entrepreneur, but I just have to continue to leverage everything until the next door opens. So 5 years I would want to, or I will be continuing to be that entrepreneur, opening up a nonprofit, and just, working on that 7 streams of income. And then the 10-year plan would just be to really enjoy life. So I think a lot of people kind of like, that Kodak Black is just like, are you dying to live or are you living to die? I don't want to work so much that I'm living to die. I want to be dying to live. I want to work hard, play hard. So it's just that 10-year plan is I want to have those streams of income coming in, and now I'm doing something that I truly love, which I love this, but I want to be able to do this at less of a workload where it's, maybe I'm coaching for 20 hours and I'm working for 20 hours, but I'm not worried about finances because I have financial freedom. That comes from being debt-free. That comes from multiple sources of income. And now I could spend my free time giving back to the community, letting kids know what Tyshaun's talking about with his agent, where kids can now get paid for their name, image, likeliness, allowing kids to get free training for their brand, allowing kids to get free clothes for their brand, and just allowing myself to be that person for someone else that I needed when I was growing up.
That's awesome, man. I know you touched base on that, free training. You talked a little bit about like, college athletes and whatnot. So maybe if you want to even speak on that a little bit, like what's that going to be like for you? Like what's that going to look like for a typical college athlete that's looking for training this summer?
So right now, just undergrads, general pop. We're doing anyone is free as long as you're an undergrad for our group classes. That's Monday through Saturday. And then just for my college athletes, we are doing NIL deals where, you could become a brand ambassador. With the brand ambassador, you get unlimited training, nutrition. You get access to all merchandise, so you could create your own merch, your own logo. You get 100% of the profit, and just really just empowering people, because our 3 initiatives at Dilligence is just empowerment, community, and environment.
Well said. Yeah, guys, what's next 5-10 years? What are you guys thinking? As far as like career goes, but looking past the career, where do you see yourself in 10 years from there?
Shoot, I try to take it a day at a time. I ain't gonna lie
Hey,
to you.
that's always good too.
I be trying to move slow, take it a day at a time. But I'll say 5 years, hopefully back in the NFL. If not, still in the CFL, just playing football, stacking up bread. I want to get into like the Airbnb business, real estate. Trying to find like a partnership with my sister or one of my friends to do something with that. Just continue to grow every day, be a better father, boyfriend, son, and all that. 10 years, I don't know if I'm gonna be retired from football. Depends however long my body lets me play football. That's why I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if that's when I retire, I want to have that residual income, whereas I'm not physically working, but I got money coming in. Probably 10 years. Probably have another kid, be married.
Yeah.
I want to have a pretty nice house. I want to build my own house. Make sure like my mom, my dad, they set up for life and stuff like that. Put them away so they don't got to worry about them. Just basically, just like Huff said, I don't want to be dying to live and stuff like that. So just chilling and living my life. Hopefully, probably 10 years getting into coaching, wherever my girlfriend wants to live at, wherever state.
Yeah.
And just coach football or some type of sport. I got to be around sports. I can't just go sit in the office. That's going to be boring, man.
Yeah.
That boy Nas, 1,000-yard running back.
Crazy. Yeah, same thing with me. I just try to take everything a day at a time, because tomorrow's not promised, and that's one thing I've took since I was younger. My mom and my family's always instilled that in us. But 5 years, still be playing in professional football, reach my full potential of professional football around that time, and have a good income, be able to take care of my family, my siblings.
Boy, I have a kid, be married.
Yeah, probably I might have a kid somewhere inside the door, but my mom ain't gonna watch this. I hope not. But and then in 10 years, if I have a successful career up to then, whatever comes with it. Like Ty said, I hope I'm not retired by then. I want to play football as long as I can. But if my body, I'm a running back, so you got to be realistic. Definitely got to be realistic with it.
Hit left and right.
Yeah, so I definitely want to have a good source of income. If it's not with the from football, my career, I do have my own business. It's called Team Get Right. So I want to, at that point, I want to be well established with my business, and be able to take care of my family and not have to worry about where the next check or where something's gonna come from. I could be living comfortably. That's why I really want to be able to live comfortably. Hopefully I have a wife by then, and just live a good life, live a happy life. That's all. I just want to be happy. I just want to be peaceful, happy at that point, and just I'm never gonna be content with life, but
Yeah. That's
I'll tell you right now, 10 years is a long time. You don't got a wife by then, my boy. You the problem. If you don't got a wife in 10 years, you the problem, or at least a girlfriend in 10 years. You the problem right there.
I have a wife by then, but I hope I do by then.
Yeah, man, that's
wife by then.
That's
You have a wife?
similar to me too. Like next 5 to 10 years, there's a lot that I want to do with my business and just keep progressing, man. Like I got this foundation I've built now in the past year that I want to keep building on, and that's now through NPU University offering that digital branding coaching. It's $20 for high school athletes a month to be a part of the network. You're gonna learn how to digital brand yourself. You're gonna get me as a one-on-one coach. Helping you through your recruiting process, along with teaching you how to use social media to leverage your process. And you're also going to be a part of a network of other college athletes who also, it's a $10 a month for college athletes. The way I integrate my college program is I build my merchandise line right into the, you get your own merchandise line, you get 100% of the profits from that. And then you also get to network, and I'm planning with my college athletes to get them their own podcast episodes and stuff like that too. So, moving from there, like I want to open a training facility. I want this to be an experience for athletes around the globe. Like, my mind's on that long term, that the mission's to get there, but putting that foundations and making sure I make the right moves now is really what I'm trying to do. So
shoot.
that's just kind of
Slow motion better than no motion.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, especially with the way we are, like even myself, is like we want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
And sometimes like it's like a process. Like, and I feel like with like even like with workouts, you could ask Huff, Nas. I don't work out just anybody. I don't, cause I can't stand it. Huff will tell you I don't. I like being by myself. Like, I work out with Nas, I work out with Kyle, some of my friends, but like this is what I want to do for a job.
Yeah.
So I don't got time to play around with nobody.
Right.
So if we say we work out at 10:30, be
working
there
out at 10:30.
Yeah, we got on that field,
Yeah,
we
you
getting
got on
work
that
done, and like it's quality over quantity. You don't have to go 50, 60 reps full speed, cause you could do 10 good reps, and the other 50 they be horrible. So I feel like just each day, as long as you're getting better, like let's say yesterday you couldn't really catch over the shoulder that well, you drop like 10, and the next day you only drop 5, you still getting better. So it's just little things at a time, just building blocks. Especially that's how I feel with me with a receiver, because I'm learning each day, just little stuff like that. Being a dad, I learn stuff every day.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. Cause I feel like a lot of time you do something and then you want something out of it right away, and sometimes you're not gonna get something out of it right away. Like God has plans for you.
Yeah, that's
real.
Yeah, that's real for sure. Like that's what I'm teaching my athletes that I work with right now in high school. It's a process, right? Like it's a recruiting process, and that's what everybody wants, that instant gratification. Like, oh, you got offers, you got the O's, the whatever. Like it's not about that. It's about going through the process, embracing all those schools that reach out to you, embracing all those brands that want to work with you, all those training facilities that want to work with you, and being open to it, right? Like being able to adapt to the process. Like that's what I'm trying to teach through my programs too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like Ty said, like to me, the journey is the best part about everything. Like the journey is where you grow at. The journey is where you find yourself. That adversity, the highs and lows, that's where you really find yourself, and you appreciate more when you do get it, when you get what you want, what you're working for. Like the journey is for me, especially like everything that I've been through to get to this point right now. That's why I'm embracing and just appreciating, and just everything's a blessing now. Now it's just everything's a blessing because I know what the journey was like, and like he said, we do want, like my situation right now, we want to be that instant gratification, but it's not how life works.
Yeah, man.
It's just a process, and if you can get through it, stuff can either make or break you. If you can get through it, then it's all gonna be worth it. So yeah.
There's even like, because probably high school kids watch this. Yo, go where you are wanted. Don't
100%.
try to go to Alabama and Clemson. If you got an offer from Central or you got a offer at WestCon Division III, go where you want. Don't be going to these big schools just to sit the bench. Like my dad used to tell me, he'd be like, yo, when I was in high school, he said, you better do what you got to do on this field. At practice, to get the X work in. He said, I'm not sitting my black ass in the cold to watch you sit on the bench. And he just kept real. That's how it is. That's one thing about my parents. They always kept it real. Like if I had a bad game, they would tell me. If I was doing something wrong, they would tell me. They weren't sugarcoating nothing. And I'm blessed and thankful to have that support system that I had back then, and even now. I feel like a lot of people in my town support me. Like a lot of my boys, my girlfriend, like she would come to the field and track how many passes I catch, how many passes I drop, in the scorching heat when she was pregnant, doing all that stuff. My mom always showing love. My dad always showing love. So that's like big, but just go where you want. Don't be trying to go to these schools. Like there's guys that try to go to these big schools and they can't compete. Like that video stuff, bro, that don't matter, because there'd be a lot of guys that post the videos, all that stuff, and they get in practice and get their ass busted every day, 24/7. They be having long ass days. What they say, face longer than the avenue. Like, yo, mad as hell at practice. Like, yo, don't go somewhere just because that's where everybody was going. It's gonna look good. Go somewhere where you're gonna play, and if you're good, they're gonna find you. That's what my mom was telling me.
100%.
You good, they're gonna find you.
I think that just speaks to itself for the both of you guys. Like, both were good. They found you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's I think the best part about it is like your guys' journeys are, in a sense, just beginning. Like a new chapter. You know what I mean? And I think that's gonna be so cool to watch unfold, and I think that'll be obviously rewarding for you, Terrell, just seeing that progress, that all that effort, those hard days that they put in, and your efforts to help them get to that next step. Like, you know, you're a part of that too, you know, and I feel like it's gonna be cool to watch, man. I'm excited for you guys, like, as you guys progress.
Yeah,
So
I've been crafting lately. I'm telling you right now, before the receiver bag, I was just some big, strong guy. I wasn't really moving like that, but shout out to my guy Mark, Shout out to my cousin Dario. We've been crafting. I've been in the lab with it, been getting right. So it's gonna be a whole different wide receiver when I step on the field this year, man. I'm telling you.
I'm excited to see that, man. What about you, Nasu? Anybody you wanna shout out real quick? And
Big shout out to my mom, man. Shout out to my mom. Because during this process right now, my mom has been like, she everything hit her more than it's hit me. So I know how she is, like, everything's so overwhelming. So just big shout out to her, and just, you know, my uncle, my dad, and shout out to my town I'm from, Auburn, and the community, because everybody's been showing a lot of love and support, and I appreciate that. That's why, you know, I always give back, because of the amount of love and support I get. And shout out to, you know, Huff too, man. I definitely appreciate you, what you got going here, the culture, and like you said, doing those little things up there. I look forward, every time I come here, I look forward to doing that, because writing that stuff on the wall, like, what are you grateful for? Like, when you write it down, like, you really see, like, okay, I'm grateful for this. So, like, it really hits you, like, okay. So it's definitely, I appreciate that. And, you know, and I never told Ty this, but shout out to him too, man, because, like, last year during this time when he was going through the draft process and everything, like, it was definitely a big motivational thing, like, seeing your dog just, you know, get to that point. Hold on now. Seeing your dog get to that point, and, like, you see all the hard work he put in and all that stuff. So it's definitely, you know what I mean, like, definitely big shout out to him. And I already know, I see the work, so I know what's going to happen when now this new opportunity comes. It's definitely going to pay off. And yeah, man, just shout out to everybody who's showing love to me. I appreciate y'all, and we're going to be there soon.
We give a shout out to TT site. But honestly, just shout out to everybody who helped me throughout the process. They know who they are. I don't even gotta say it. There's too many people, but definitely like Huff. I started off, I was out at BOA training, and now I'm at Dilligence and stuff like that. So, like, shout out to everybody that had a helping hand to get me where I'm at today, because everybody, I ain't do it all myself. There ain't no way. I did a lot. Like, just, like, ain't nobody tell me to get up, do the extra stuff. I did that myself, but my parents definitely supported me financially throughout the process, helped me do what I had to do, and just when it was time for me to fall, they let me fall when I had to learn my lesson and do stuff like that. So, but definitely a shout out to my daughter, Tell you, be a father, great, man, She used to be smiling at me. Shoot, she done doo-dooed on me before, peed on me, threw up on me, scratched me in my face every morning, waking me up. So it's definitely, I'll be having, sometimes I'll have like a rough day, like a workout, it don't go how I went, because like I'm a perfectionist, bro. I don't like messing up. I'll come home pissed, and I'll just see her sitting there smiling. It's just, that just go out the door, Now, I'm not saying you go out and have no kids now if you ain't ready. But if you're ready, I'm telling you, it's going to make your life a lot better, man. I'm telling you.
For me, it would just be really just a few things, just highlighting what you guys were saying is just, I think a lot of time all of you guys spoke about just your journey instead of just the destination, because that's never rewarding. It's human inclination. Once you get there, you're always going to want more. It's kind of like this. I had somebody reach out to me yesterday on social media saying, yo, I love what you guys are doing. Like, you got that place up and running quick. No, I didn't. Like, I started this in 2015. I used to leave the parties at CCSU early, sleep in the parking lot at my job because I knew I had to be up for training at 4:30. That was 2015. And here we are in 2023, and we're just now starting to see notoriety. So I say that to say an overnight success is a 10-year plan. 2015 to 2023, I'm 8 years in. So God willing, 2 years, that's a 10-year plan. Things should be bigger. And then, again, with you saying, one day you want to train a facility, with you saying you want to coach, with you saying, you would like to play for 10 more years, I think, you two could at least attest to this, is that overserve while walking in your purpose. When you walk in your purpose, it's easy for you to have passion for it. It doesn't feel like a job. You're going to work and you're happy to be playing a professional sport. You're going to work and you're happy to get off from corporate and put in 5 hours each day for your vision. So it's like when you are walking in your purpose, it's easy to have your passion. And then just lastly, I know Nas could attest to this, Tyshaun, like always provide more in value than what you take in compensation. And that's something that I drive home to every client. To when I meet with them, is like if take time to know somebody. I know Nas is a college student. Why would I charge the premium price when I could just add more value? I could get him more merch. I could maybe let him save more money and go visit his family. It's just provide more value than what you take in compensation, and you're going to always receive it tenfold. So that would just be my words, and just, put God first.
Absolutely. Like, I'd say, I'm thankful for so many people in my life that have helped me get to this point. Like, I thank my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandparents. Like, this whole thing wouldn't have been possible without my grandparents. Like, they helped me, financially really kickstart my business. And shout out to them, man. That's love, like bringing people around, everybody that's supporting from Middletown. Shout out to Middletown. And, just everybody like you guys. Like, I'm thankful for everything, man. Like, I'm just embracing the journey now, and it's we're just gonna keep stacking, keep building from here, man. And I appreciate you guys taking the time today. I think that was good. That was good talk, man. That was good, man. Well,
Appreciate you too, my boy.
appreciate it. Well, NPU Podcast, first episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.